Hey guys, so this month is actually Men's Mental Health Month. Now I know all of you aren't men, but a whopping high 91% of you are, so shout out to the 9% of women who are watching this. Hopefully one day that number will come more like 50-50. Let me know down below how we can get more women interested in investing. Given that I'm a man, I thought I would take this opportunity to talk about something I think nobody really talks about, and that's anxiety in investing and how it can actually feel quite crippling. It's been on my mind for quite a while, and it's something that I never really get a chance to talk about, so I thought, being Mental Health Month, why not talk about it today and tell you guys how I'm feeling. To be honest, for me in my younger days, it never really bothered me. As soon as I kind of hit my 30s, my anxiety really just went through the roof. Whether that's a combination of being more aware of it, I'm not sure, and just kind of things going on in my life, which I'll discuss in this video, but I want to talk about the anxiety in investing and how it's just kind of overlooked, and it's actually quite a big thing. I think it's important we talk about it. Not enough men do. They just kind of carry the weight, and you'd never know that these things are going on. You know, suicide rates are so high within men, and a lot are to do with financial worries. And I think as men, we kind of carry these things with us and don't talk about them. So why not do it on YouTube for the whole internet to see? I want to share this because I want you guys to know that I feel the same, in case you're feeling like this or have felt like this, and talk about how I've dealt with some of them through my investing journey. So what is anxiety anyway, or what does it feel like? Well, to me, anxiety is quite weird, and it's a hard thing to really put your finger on. For years, I kind of thought I was stressed and things were stressed and bothering me, but actually it was just kind of this ongoing feeling of noise and not feeling settled or comfortable and just feeling generally just anxious all the time. I think this is coupled with the fact that I overthink literally everything, so all these things just stack one after another, and certain things can happen at the time you don't really think you're that bothered, but then you'll find yourself in a situation where actually it's taken a huge impact. So one of these things, and I think perhaps the most important, which probably causes the most problems, is losing money. And I know especially at the moment the market is down and you feel down on your luck that you've done the wrong thing, and that can actually play a huge impact on how you feel. Investing in general is very much like swings and roundabouts. You'll be up one day and you'll feel on top of the world, and the next day you're down and you're so down in the dumps and you're thinking, oh no, I just want to quit everything and I just can't do anything right. Especially when you buy one and it's down, then another one and it's down, it's down. It's just like, I can't seem to get anything right here. And I found this quite a lot. I could get some good news and I'd feel so happy. Then I'd see bad news and I'd feel just awful. And I think this problem scales as your portfolio grows. At the start, when you've got like 1,000 or 2,000 invested, you might be down 20 or 30 pounds in a day. Well, when you reach my level and I'm at like 100,000 in my portfolio, yesterday I think I was down £3,000. I think I've actually been down around 10,000 in a couple of days. Now just imagine how that feels when you think, well, today I've earned £200 and I've lost 1,000 or 10,000 in my portfolio. You just think, what's even the point? And it does leave you feeling quite hopeless and not quite sure where to go. But on the flip side of that, when it goes up and you've made 2,000 or 3,000 in a day, you think, wow, today I've made £3,000, that's 10 times what I could have earned, and you're on top of the world. So it is an emotional roller coaster. And when this does happen, you can kind of find yourself being in a situation. You see it and you don't think it's really affected you. Then, for example, you can go and do something like to an event or having dinner, and you'll find yourself quite numb. You can have the feeling like people are talking at you and you're just not present in the situation at all. Your mind's just ticking over with all these thoughts of things going on, what you've been doing, that you've lost this money, and it makes you feel a bit lost, like you're just kind of out of everything and not involved in the situation. That's something that happens to me so much with anxiety. I feel like I'm completely not present. I think the only thing I could really suggest to help you with this is just simply not to look. And it doesn't help that when you watch investing videos and you're watching investing content and you want to buy and sell all the time, you're going to be constantly just looking at your investments. The only thing you should really be doing is just set and forget, keep averaging in, and just try not to look at it. That's something I actually got very good at before YouTube. I actually didn't look at all at my portfolio. I would leave it 6 months, 12 months at a time, and I just wouldn't even look at it. But obviously now with YouTube, I'm looking at my portfolio all of the time, which doesn't really help. I also think it does kind of add this pressure to me having it on YouTube, because on one side, I want to share everything with you, but at the same time, in the back of your mind, although I'm completely not bothered, it kind of makes me think it would make me look so much better if I was just going up and up and up. And in fact, because I just lump sum in at certain periods of time, it doesn't always go up. You'll see with the Vanguard portfolio that will keep going up because I'm constantly adding more money. So it looks great and it's going up and up and up and up and up, where my eyesight ISA because I've lumped in, it's going to be going up and down like a yo-yo. I think I might change that approach and slowly keep adding to it so that looks more positive. I know it'd be great to look like the portfolio is going up all the time, but to be honest, that's just not how it works. And the people who make out that it's going that way are just pulling the wool over your eyes. Another thing I found really hard is this fear of missing out. Now, people talk about FOMO all the time like it's this big thing and people are hyping up stocks, but you do feel like you're missing out. For example, I've looked at this one called Yield Nodes and they've given an 8% return every month pretty much since they've launched. And that's over the past 2 or 3 years. And when you look at their chart and see how much they've made compared to the market, you start getting inside your own head and you think, oh, I need to get into that, I need to be making that money too. But the reality is those kind of things are just so high risk that you could lose all of your money. And believe me, I've tried my fair share of crypto projects, I've done copy trading, which I'll share that story in another video, and you get kind of pulled into these things that look, to be honest, too good to be true. But that fear of missing out will really play on your mind. And you'll get super excited going into these projects thinking you're going to do really well. Then all of a sudden, a couple of days passed and something's gone wrong or missing or hacked, and then everything just goes to pot. And this happens with stocks and shares too. You will see a stock has shot up. For example, a really good one is Warren Buffett stocks. When his company buys a share, it jumps 10 or 20%. But just think how many people have jumped in after he's already bought it. So are you getting it before that hype or after it's all just bumped up? And this will happen on a regular basis, or even if a stock's going down. For example, stocks like Boohoo, they're down so much you think, oh, I can jump in and when it comes back up, I'll make a great profit. But there's no saying that that stock won't just go to zero. And this is something you'll find quite constantly. You'll see these deals or things that look like super good value, you'll jump in and then it will cause you so much anxiety. You're waiting for them to come back up, what's going to happen? And then you'll find you're checking your app every 5 minutes thinking, oh come on, it's going to go up today, it's going to go up today. When in reality, it isn't worth the stress. You're probably going to be far better off just averaging in and continually adding on a slow basis. I know it sounds really boring just adding to an index fund, but you really want to get that weight behind you so then it's got that time to climb up and up and up. I know for me now, something I've realised more in my 30s is to think, actually my 30s up to 40 at the time I really want to be putting in the work so I've got that pension later. Because the sooner I can get that money and it starts compounding, the sooner I'm going to reach my goals. The best advice I could give you here is to just try not to be sucked into them, stick to your plan and keep doing what you're doing. I know these things look so attractive, or a stock will look super on sale and you're thinking you're going to make that quick buck, but more often than not it just won't work out. Another thing that has come onto me lately, which I never really thought about before, is the unrealistic pressure of limits. Now, that sounds a bit weird. What do I mean by that? Well, there's only a certain amount you can invest every year, right? So with an ISA, you can put 20,000 in, but then I've always done that, right? And even putting 20,000 in has kind of limited my life. Yes, I'm able to kind of save and have that great ISA, but on the flip side, that's £20,000 I'm saving every year. Now, out of your salary, that's a good chunk. So realistically, I just live pretty much like a normal person, like anybody else was, even who wasn't saving that amount, but I still am saving that amount, if that makes sense. So I don't really live beyond my means. In fact, I probably live far less than people who are earning less money, which is good, but it also adds a pressure that you have to hit that goal. So for me now, I feel like I have to save £20,000 every year, which is pretty unrealistic for a normal person, unless you're earning a crazy amount of money. But this is what has actually bothered me so much now. That really never bothered me. £20,000 was a big goal, but it's something I could kind of work towards. But now comes this pension, right? So my pension each year, I'm able to put about 32,000 into that. In fact, you can even put a bit more. So now I also feel the pressure of putting 20,000 into that, 32,000 into a pension, and also I would quite like to put money into a regular stocks and shares every year so I can eventually build it up, which will help funnel the others in the future. Now just think about that, right? Say I was going to put 10,000 in there, I've got 10,000 in a normal account, 20,000 in an ISA, and maybe 32,000 in another one. That's like 62,000 that you could save every year. And that's completely unrealistic. For any normal person, you're not going to be saving that much. I'm in some groups where, to be honest, people are saving that much, but they're earning a fortune. These are people earning like 100, 200k a year. But it doesn't help in the back of my mind. It makes me feel like I need to save that much, and I'm not kind of good enough by not saving that much, which is crazy and it's stupid, but it does add anxiety and pressure, which is crazy. And I don't know how I get around thinking like that. I've got to kind of just put it out of my mind and just think I need to just do the best I can. But it does really play on my mind, and I kind of think, well, do I go for my SIP? Do I go for my ISA? Which one should I aim to fill first? The way I'm tackling it is anything above 50,000 I earn goes into the SIP because it's a no-brainer, and anything less will go into that ISA. I think this will change for me as time goes on as well, when other costs come into it. You know, I'll have property maintenance, I want to kind of upgrade, I'd love to buy a place abroad, and I've got to just realise that there's different goals in life and it's not all just about investing. I found this a lot recently, and I kind of think in my head that I am basically living my life to retire. And that's silly because I love my job, I have fun, I make these videos for you guys now, which is even better. And if I could do this full time, I'd be really happy. So I don't know why I'm putting this unrealistic pressure on myself. And yeah, that's something I'm just still working on. And this is something else which I've probably struggled with a bit. And it's a feeling like you feel like you're not good enough. I think when you're younger, you think you're going to achieve great things, and you see all of these crazy success stories, and I see all of these opportunities that I missed out on. That was really why I finally started YouTube, because I could have started YouTube 10 years ago and I would be doing so well today if I did so. There'd be no competition. Even things like Instagram. When I used to post on Instagram 5 or 6, 7 years ago, you would get like 20 followers every time you uploaded. So it was so easy to grow those platforms. I grew a Twitter account, I think, to 100,000 followers, which was easy back then. And you just see all of these opportunities that you've missed out on. And I think this is especially true when you kind of work online, because you see all of them just come and go. And I think you see other people having success and think, why couldn't I have done that? Why couldn't I have done better? And it leaves you with this feeling of thinking you always want to do better and you need to be doing more. I think that has changed as I got into my 30s. I kind of reached the point where it's not worth the stress and it's not worth the hassle. With my clients, I actually don't take on clients I know I don't like, which sounds awful, but I think it's actually quite a good thing. I just work with lovely people I really like to work with. And I think if I can spend more time working on YouTube and doing things with you guys, every time I get a comment and people message something nice, it literally just makes my day. So thank you to you guys who comment. I do really, really appreciate it. So I think those are the main things with investing that I've noticed. In general, I think things are just a bit crazy for me in my life recently. YouTube adds a crazy amount of anxiety to my life you wouldn't even believe. And that's because there is this constant pressure. What do you post? What are people liking? Why has nobody watched that? And YouTube gives you a ranking out of 10 when you post a new video, and when you can't get something in the top 5, you're thinking, oh no, I've done this wrong. When it's a 10 out of 10, you're thinking this is completely the wrong kind of content. I'm sure this video will be the wrong kind of content and people might not watch it. Hopefully people do watch it and press the like button and it gets out there and gets me some more views. You know, there's this constant pressure to try and make it viable to make money. And I've got some really good sponsorships on board, but the YouTube ad revenue is like nowhere near. I think I get maybe 10 or 20 pounds for making a video, which takes like 8 or 10 hours to do. So I've got to find a balance between the commercial stuff as well as making the videos that I really want to make. I think in general, I just need to have more fun with it and do what I really enjoy. I know going more down the finance news route will get me more money, but I think to myself, do I really want to be talking about finance news every day? I'm not really sure. If I could get someone to help me write that kind of stuff and research it for me, then maybe I will. So if there is kind of content you guys would like to see or route you would like me to take, do let me know down below because it'd be really cool to see. And I've also got a lot of other things going on with my life which are quite crazy. I'm looking to buy a house this year. House prices are ridiculous, which I'll probably do a video in itself. But I think what's really played on my mind at the moment is the fact this is the one time in my life where I'm probably quite free, to be honest. I'm not tied to a house, I'm not tied to kids, I'm not tied to a location with a job. And you just think, is this the point in my life where I need to go for it and do something? But at the same time, there's a lot of benefits to staying here with my partner and retirement and all that kind of jazz. So yeah, we're not quite sure what we want to do or where we want to go, but we've got to live somewhere. Rent's ridiculous at the moment. So at the moment, I kind of feel like I don't know if I want to buy a house, but I also don't want to pay stupid amounts of rent. So what do you do? So yeah, I hope me sharing my thoughts in this way and how I feel has been helpful to you guys in some way. If you have any kind of feelings or thoughts or want to share anything, do just reach out and talk to me literally anytime. I do see all of the comments. I do my best to respond to them as quickly as possible. If you actually go to my About section, you can get my email address, so if you want to, just drop me an email if you want to chat. And we do have a Discord community if you want to join. I think it's like £5 a month, where we all chat on a daily basis, and I'm loving the community I built up in there. I might one day actually just do that for free, but to be honest, at the moment it gives a bit of extra money, and it does kind of allow me time to respond to people more properly. So let me know down below what you guys think. I hope this was useful, and I'll see you guys in the next video.